Hey everyone, welcome back to another Teen Maker project. This week we're going to look at a simple electronic circuit to liven up some Halloween themed art. You can grab a kit with all of the special supplies for this project from the library as soon as this video is posted, and you can let us know you're on your way to grab a kit by calling 708-547-7393. So to start off, I'm going to show you a 60-second video that explains how to build a paper circuit, which is what we'll be doing today, and a little bit how the science works. Okay, so you have the basics. So now I'll show you how I incorporated that simple circuit into a drawing of a crow to make it a little more spooky. And I'll explain to you what I'm doing as I go along so you can see how it fits in with what they just showed you. Okay, so to start this off, you can take any kind of paper. So if you're doing this outside of this project on your own, you can use lined paper, unlined paper. You'll need a coin battery, which is what I'm showing you there. This one is 3 volts, and then some LEDs. Now you can use them like this, or there are a few different shapes. What I like about this one is that it's got those prongs that are really easy to manipulate, and one is longer than the other. That'll be important. So the longer side is the positive, and the shorter side is the negative. You need copper tape because it's conductive and it will move the electrons from the battery to the light. And so, like I said, this is blank here. I have gone ahead on the other side and I've done the outline of a crow, which I will go ahead and fill in with marker so you can see it a little better. If you Google paper circuits and ideas or projects, you can find a ton of different things that other people have done on the internet already, different designs for cards, for art pieces. So this is just a really simple drawing that we're adding a light to, but you can do all kinds of really neat stuff. And there is my finished crow. And what I'm going to do now is mark where I want the eye to be, because that'll make it just a little bit easier. I'm going to poke the LED through where the eye will be. And then it'll look like this. So to get started, you're going to look at the prongs on that LED, and you're going to kind of pull them apart. And what you're really going to do is flatten them against the paper so that when you put your copper tape on, it'll be easier to tape them down. Okay. So then you can start working with your copper tape. It's important to note where the positive side starts and where the negative side starts. So that's what I'm going to mark here. And the same for the sides of the LED. That way I'm making sure I'm connecting my positive side, sided copper tape to the positive side of the LED and the negative side to the negative side of the LED. And you can see that right here. And once I have that marked, I can start laying my copper tape. So I'm going to start by covering up the little plus at the corner of the paper, because that's where my positive side starts. And the reason that I'm laying it out in the way that I am, and you'll see it fully at the end, is so that they only overlap when I decide for them to. So you notice I folded the paper, the corner of the paper, and that'll be so that when we put our battery in, the positive side tape can touch the positive side of the battery. Okay. So I've placed my first side and I've covered up the positives on my paper. And the next step is to tape down the positive prong of that LED over top of the copper tape. Because the battery will conduct through the copper tape, if it's not actually touching the prongs of the LED, then it won't light it up, and it has to be touching both sides at the same time. So that's why you're going to tape that down to make sure that it's touching. We're doing it really simple on paper and using the copper tape, but this is essentially the same thing that would happen if you're using electronic circuit in a wall to light up, your light or your TV, any of those things. So we can go ahead and lay the other side of the copper tape, laying it over the minus sign that you created near the LED, and then making sure that it goes all the way until it covers the minus side that was up near the corner. And in the end, it will look like this. And we're going to go ahead and tape down the negative side of the LED onto the negative side of the copper tape, again, to make sure that it's touching. If you're having a little trouble with your copper tape, it is okay if it rips a little bit, as long as you make sure that the corners overlap. I found that if you can keep it in one continuous piece by bending it just a little, then it does conduct better. Okay. Now that that's taped down, we are ready to add our battery. So you can look at that here. The shiny flat side should have a plus on it. We are actually going to tape down the negative side of the battery so the positive side is face up. And you'll see that here. So that's your positive side. And if you flip it, your negative side is where you're going to attach the tape. And then you're going to tape the negative side of the battery down over the end of the negative side of the copper tape. That's why it's important to label your sides in the beginning. It makes it easier. And then when you fold the positive side down to touch that battery, it completes the circuit and turns on your light. See? All right, that's the basics for you to do this particular project. Like I said, if you like working with paper circuits and you found this to be really neat, you can take a look at this website, Hylotech. They have a paper circuit project that gets a little more complicated. It shows you a few different types of circuits you can do with tabs and buttons and switches and all of those things, still just using the copper tape and paper. So that's really neat. It also has a list of supplies for you. And like I said, go ahead, Google paper circuits and project ideas, and you can find all kinds of different art pieces that people have used paper circuits to give some lighting. I hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day.